Okay, we'd like to welcome Davis Love III into the Media Center here at the Wyndham Championship. Davis, first of all, closing in on 800 starts on the PGA Tour, 25 now this week, which have come at the Wyndham Championship. Just talk a little bit about what this event means to you, especially as a two-time winner.
Well, I'm thrilled to be back. Obviously won at Forest Oaks across town and won here. So it always gives me good vibes when I come back to a place that I've played well. But now I'm playing with guys out there in practice rounds, and they're saying, so how long ago was it when you won here? And wasn't it at another course? So it's kind of history, but I always do play better when I get to North Carolina for some reason. And my game's been trending. The scores don't look good, but my game's been trending up, so I'm hoping it'll all come together this week.
But it hasn't really been that long since you got the last of your 21 PGA Tour victories. What does winning here in 2015, your last tour win, mean to you?
Well, it's another kind of almost a record. I'm, I guess, third or fourth oldest to have won a PGA Tour event. And just for the look on Bobby Long's face when I walked off the green that day, when he told me that I had won and I hadn't been looking at the leaderboards, that was worth it. And, you know, and Bobby and Mark Brazel and the team came down to talk to me when they were going to move from Forest Oaks. And I said, look, I'm with you guys, whatever's best for the tournament. And, yeah, I had some success at Forest Oaks, but, you know, I love Sedgefield too. And, you know, you just look at how it's changed around here. The tournament's grown, the neighborhood's grown, the fans support it incredibly over here. So it was a great move, and I'm happy to be back playing it again. And, you know, this is one course where, you know, last week I couldn't bomb it over the corners like those guys could, but this is one course where I can just get it in the fairway, and old age and treachery can overcome some of the guys' power, maybe not all of it.
And as captain of the U.S. team for the President's Cup, I know you have some exciting news to share with us here today.
Yeah, I've had, you know, Fred Couples and Zach Johnson named as assistant captains for a while now, and we've been watching guys play and waiting. But we want to announce today Steve Stricker is going to be an assistant captain, which is really no surprise with his recent Ryder Cup and President's Cup captaincy wins. Keep his streak going and keep him involved in the team. And then our goal has always been to add somebody new, like we added Zach Johnson. We had Matt Kuchar go to Paris, get some guys broken into the system that could be captains down the road. And so this year we're going to add Webb Simpson. We're going to get a local favorite on the course, neighbor, inside course knowledge, plus one of the guys on the tour that the players really respect. Obviously they respect his game, but they love him on and off the golf course. And he's a leader in the locker room and in the team room, and he's a connection for, you know, Fred and I don't play a whole lot out here on the regular tour. We're on the Champions, so Webb's going to be a great resource because he knows the players a lot better than us. So he's a great addition. He's excited, and that makes us excited to have him on the team because he's always been a team guy, and we're excited to have him and his influence around these players for this year.
All right, good stuff. We'll open it up to questions. Start with Ron.
Between playing in President's Cup, what gets the most attention from you right now? You know, your playing career, or are you focused more on the President's Cup?
Oh, I'm focused more on President's Cup. You know, my wife said, what happened with those 3 doubles on Thursday? And I said, well, it was a bad day on the golf course, but I made a lot of progress that week. You know, I had a couple of dinners. You know, I got to eat dinner with Tony Finau and flying a plane from Zach's Pro-Am with Tony Finau in the middle of him winning 2 golf tournaments. You know, you can't get any closer to your team doing something like that, hanging out with Tony for 2 or 3 days. And then, you know, being around is beneficial. You pick up things. Just playing with Will and Cam, not only the power and what great players they are and seeing it up close. It's one thing to play a practice round or watch them on the range or talk to them, watch them on TV. I watched a lot of the British Open. It's another thing to see them interact together and watch them on the golf course and see their personalities. You know, obviously they're friends. They do a lot of things together. They're pretty different. You know, it's hard to get something out of Cam and you get a lot out of Will, you know, and it's good to know that. And it's also good to know that they're good together. You know, Wake Forest guys is okay. We're overloading our team with Wake Forest guys right now. But, little things, spending some time with Maverick McNeely and Zach Johnson last week. And then a lot of great things have already happened here in just a day and a half. So it's good for me to be out and connected.
Okay, Helen?
Along that same line, Billy Horschel was in here earlier, and he talked about how much he wanted to make the team and said you had reached out to him. Could you talk a little bit about what you think he might bring to the team, should he?
Well, a lot of energy, a lot of passion, and, a hot game. That year that Billy ran through the FedEx Cup and then wasn't on the team, and then we changed our system a little bit to catch the hot guy. We want Billy to get hot again, because when he's on a roll, nobody makes birdies faster than him. So, but what we want, and what I've been saying about the distractions in the game right now, we know we're going to get 12 guys that really want to play, and Max Homa and Will Zalatoris and Billy Horschel and guys like that, Brian Harmon. They're passionate about the PGA Tour, and they're passionate about playing the President's Cup. It's unfortunate that we're not playing 20 guys this year, because I got so many guys that want Webb Simpson. I'm not counting Webb Simpson out. Webb can make a lot of birdies here. He can get hot in the playoffs. It's his home course. He's a great partner for anybody. There's a lot of guys on the list. Harris English was out with a hip surgery, but he just came off of a great year and a great Ryder Cup. He was a great teammate. He's easy to pair. There's a lot of guys that are still on the list. There's a ton of points. When our stats guys start showing me, I say, how many guys are locks? And they go, well, Scotty. Well, maybe Sam Burns. So a lot can happen. We've only got 6 that qualify on points, so it's a little bit strange, these last 2 cups, picking 6 guys. Gives you a lot of flexibility, but it also, you don't have as many locked up early like we used to do. But we'd love to have the new guys. I mean, they talk about veterans versus rookies, but guys like Billy and Will, bring that energy that you need on a team.
Okay, Ron?
Did you talk to Tiger about being part of your staff, or could he still be involved? I know he's been involved with a lot recently.
Well, he's involved. He called Webb and spilled the beans early, so he's involved. He's been a resource since 2015. All the way back to our meetings on where we're going to go with this Ryder Cup thing. Who's going to be the captain for 16, and how are we going to restructure the way we run these teams? Tiger's been a huge influence and a huge resource. He really has opened up and embraced that role. Obviously he couldn't come last year, and it'd be challenging for him to come this year even. It's not the Masters, a controlled environment where you can walk around and be inside the ropes and be safe. So he's an unbelievable influence, not only on the President's Cup and the Ryder Cup, but also on this live stuff. He's really mentoring a lot of guys. So he'll be involved. He just won't be on the golf course.
Okay, John?
Yeah. What are the chances of, say, Will and Cameron being paired together in a President's Cup match? And they're both young guys, haven't been out there that long. Do you know those guys very well?
Well, since they'll probably hear it, they got to make the team first, and then they have a really good chance of playing together. That's what Will and Cam both said to me. It'd be a dream come true for us to play together. I tend to forget that they don't have that experience, so I ask questions that are probably over their head a little bit. But I ask them, who would you want to play? We send out a survey and some emails and some digging that they fill in and let us know some preferences on, from food to partners, all different kinds of things. And but they both said that it would be a dream scenario for them to play together. And it's an easy pairing. It's like Patrick and Xander. It's pretty easy. you know, we've had pairings in the past that they were automatic that didn't, like Freddie and I didn't get to play together enough. And it was just, it's almost too easy. And I think that's one thing we've learned. Statistically, guys can match up, but comfort is better than stats. You know, if you're comfortable, trust. You know, I think Will and Cam would have just an immediate trust in a pressure situation. They've done it before. They've roomed together on the road. You know, they know each other very well. They do a lot on and off. Same with Patrick and Xander. You can't quantify that in the stats. So, yeah, I would see them playing together. I'm pulling for them both to have a great playoffs and stay on a roll. And then when they get on the team, we'll have to let Freddie make, you know, the pairings and put the matchups out. The best thing about the President's Cup is that wall between the internationals and Fred sitting on this side, throwing out the games. So I could see that we have 3 or 4 really automatic teams that are peas in a pod ready to go, and that didn't just come from the last few months. That comes from, you know, we're approaching 8 years working on this, you know, year in and year out, thinking about it all the time. You know, Jordan and Justin were texting me already about alternate shot format, you know, who's on what holes at Quail. Our guys they know that we're working on it and they're working on it. They're prepared to tell us what we need to know and give us more information. And the great thing about texting and emails and cell phones is the communication level. You know, Xander was texting me and I was driving. I just called him, you know, and said, all right, what about this? What about that? He's like, got it, Cap. You know, and just having that access, but knowing that they're into it. You know, I was scared to death to say something to Raymond Floyd or Tom Kite back when I was a kid on these teams. Now we have that open communication, and you put together a chat, and then a lot of it goes down bad rabbit holes. But you get a lot of good information, and you keep the team communicating. And then they come to you and say, "Oh, we have our own chat that you guys aren't involved in." And then you realize they're a bunch of kids, and kids running the show. You know, so it's a lot of fun for us. Obviously, Fred and I probably have gone past our time in doing this, but it's been so much fun, and just to help them chase their dreams, because that's what Tom Kite or Raymond Floyd or Lanny Watkins or Ken Venturi, Arnold Palmer, that's what they did for me, is gave me a chance to go play in these things.
You mentioned distractions earlier, and you've been pretty outspoken about some things. Where do you, haven't been on policy boards and all that, what do you think of where the tour finds itself these days, and maybe its course of action or reaction?
Well, you know, the whole situation is unfortunate. You know, I didn't try to single out the U.S. Open as the players striking or not threatening not to play. I was saying that if the LIV guys sue and are allowed to play on the PGA Tour, that the players are enough fed up with it. We understand that we make the rules on the PGA Tour, and the commissioner's enforcing our rules, and we don't want those guys coming and cherry picking our tournaments. That we hold all the cards, not Jay or not Seth Waugh or Mike Wynn. They don't hold all the cards. We hold all the cards. That if we say to the FTC and to Washington, no, we support the rules. We don't want those guys playing. We don't care what the courts say. Our only option, really, the nuclear option, is to just say, well, fine, if they have to play in our events, we just won't play. I think the tour players, you know, the Max Homas and Rory McIlroys have done a good job. I think the undercurrent of guys that are just getting more and more fed up with it, that these guys are threatening our way of life. They're trying to take money out of our pockets and cherry pick our best tournaments. The majors have to make their own decisions. I loved what Martin Slumber said. I think they're all going in the right direction. But the PGA Tour players, we support the PGA Tour, and we support the rules, and we need to stand up for them.
It's probably too strong a word, but given what you said about some players told you one thing, did another, do you feel betrayed as a captain
Look, I told the players that I've talked to that have gone or thinking about going, it's your decision, you know, and you do what's right for you. But understand the consequences. You know, I tried to sound like my dad, and I probably wasn't very good at it. I didn't argue. I said, look, you can do this or you can do this. You know, you can be Tiger Woods or you can be banned from the game. Take your pick. But understand the consequences. You signed up for these rules. And I keep using it kind of as a joke, but I'm wearing shorts today, but I can't wear shorts on Thursday. That's a rule. I have to commit by last Friday or I don't get to play this week. I have to play 15 tournaments or I don't get to vote and I don't get my retirement money. You know, you have rules that you have to adhere to. And you're getting, I said fixing to, but you're fixing to break a rule that's a big rule and you're going to get penalized for it. And Jay's been saying it for a year, and they either understood it, some of them understood that, some of them said it's not going to happen, and some of them just flat out lied. You know, no, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. So, and you hear it, the talking points or the interviews, they're spinning their decision because they know they know they've turned their backs on their friends, and they know they're taking the money, and they know it's not the right thing to do, but it is their decision, and they can do that. They just can't come back and play the Players' Championship. You know, that's just not fair. If I grind it out and make the 125 and get in the Players' Championship, I don't want those guys, that being the only PGA Tour event they play that year. That's not right.
Okay, John.
Is there an argument that the Live Tour actually, the competition drives the purses up on the PGA Tour, and, you know, the high water raises all the boats?
Well, in '94, Greg Norman proposed this 30-person world tour, and what came of that, the commissioner, I was on the board, said, well, what do the players really want? And they said, well, we would like to have some short field events, no cuts, and big money purses. It needs to be a little bit more competitive than 30 guys. So that's where the World Golf Championships came from. Now, since the World Golf Championships came up in the late 90s, look how many changes we made to the PGA Tour. We've changed the playoff system a couple times. We've changed the season a couple times. And I have a great stat that I used for a long, long time when Tim Finchem was commissioner. 267 rules changes were made under Tim Finchem. 265 of them came from player suggestions, from the PAC, from player directors, from the players changing a rule. We can change all the rules for next year if we want to, and we can change the commissioner because he works for the players. The player directors and independent directors hired him. I've been on the board when we hired Tim Finchem and when we hired Jay Monahan. I watched the process. Somebody didn't just crown them and all of a sudden Tim Finchem is commissioner. Dean Beamham didn't just walk in one day and say, Tim's taking over. It was a process, and players voted on it. So as long as Jay is commissioner, his job is to uphold the rules that the players made, and he's doing a very good job of that now. He's playing defense, and he's playing legal, so maybe you don't hear him say exactly what you want him to say or do. But he's bracing for over a year for a lawsuit, for a threat. So tactically, it's hard to know what to do. Nobody saw COVID coming. We handled it, I think, extremely well. Our sport did a very good job. You can argue that we may have done the best job of getting back to playing and handling it. Nobody saw the extent of Live coming. It's hard to not be reactionary to something that when you're blindsided, you are being reactionary. I told Jay a year ago, and you can ask him, I said, don't worry about it. It's not going to happen. I was completely dead wrong. 6 months ago, I told my own tournament, oh, don't worry about it. Not going to happen. You know, Mickelson's going down, but nobody else will jump ship. So I was wrong. I don't know what's going to happen from here on out, but I know it's going to be a fight, and the players are getting more and more unified against it. Now, some guys said that they don't like the new schedule, and some guys don't like the old schedule, and I might not like the fall schedule right now, but it's going to work out because I'm on board. Whatever the tour wants to do, it will work out because I know the staff doesn't work for Jay exclusively. They work for the players, and so does Jay. So.
All right.
Oh, and Helen, I went backwards a tournament, me and Jay, to our 800 chase. We went backwards. We lost a President's Cup. Jay went from 7.99. So I'm going to lobby rules changes that they count my British Opens and my President's Cup, and then I'm at
You're
8. Then I'm
well
almost
over.
almost 800 now.
Davis, as always, thank you for
Thank
your
you.
time.